Let's now move on to setting up user management. To do so, push the button with the user symbol in the upper left corner of the screen when the camera bar is folded. Clicking plus allows us to create a new user, for example, security guard. A dialog with the associated user rights opens immediately. We can specify the user's password here. If the user guard is only authorized to access specific groups, we can deactivate the prohibited groups. All of the functions described here can be restricted for each user. The supervisor now has a special role to play. The supervisor is authorized to temporarily release functions in accordance with the principle of two-man rule. For example, the security guard is generally not authorized to access the camera microphone. For this reason, we will disable the listen function for him. The supervisor may release this function. However, we must first specify a password to activate the supervisor. Once these settings have been specified, we can test this behavior. Log out as admin and then log in as the security guard. Now we want to listen, so we will push the audio button. We are informed that this function is protected, but we can launch supervisor mode using the supervisor password. This mode allows listen in accordance with what we previously specified. You should exit supervisor mode after completing the action. We recommend saving the project file once you have specified all of the settings. To do so, go to Menu, Project, Save As. A file with the .configuration extension is saved. Please note that projects that are not explicitly saved with their own file names are saved under the name projectdata.zip in the user's AppData directory. Any changes, such as new project, affect this file. If you fail to save your project with its own name and location, you will lose all of the settings you specified when you created a new project. Finally, you can also send the entire project file via email. Simply select File, Mail Project in the menu and enter the email address of the recipient. Before sending, note that the project file may be quite large. Let's now take a look at the general program settings. You can access the language settings under General. Double-click to proceed. The Data Volume tab allows you to provide information on bandwidth and download event data. The microphone sensitivity and push-to-talk settings are located under Listen. The Snapshots tab is used to specify the location and type for the snapshots. You can specify the snapshot mode in the Monitoring tab. In this mode, MxMC internally saves the last image before the connection is lost. If you switch the view in this camera, the last camera image saved is displayed. The idea here is we still can see the last camera image before the camera is unplugged, for example in the event of theft of the camera. Remote control allows us to externally control MxMC remotely, for example to establish a video wall. Access can be protected with a username and password. Once all cameras in the system are configured, you should make a backup of the camera configurations and the MxMC configuration. There is an appropriate assistant for this purpose. We can back up one or multiple camera configurations using device backup, depending on whether there is one camera selected in the live view or a group with a graphic or grid view. The system backup stores the camera configurations, including the MxMC configuration.